Again, we're going to talk about things in the past that we had. Bologna sandwiches. Do you remember them? I didn't like bologna. I still don't like it. But mayo, relish, whatever I could cover with it, I'd eat it. But we did have bologna sandwiches. Very cheap meat, if you want to call it that. Again, I'm biased. I don't really like bologna. Pot pies. You can make your own. You know, you can make a stew and put it in the pot pie and just cook it in your air fryer. And you're just cooking really, if you've baked or if you've made your stew ahead of time. Leftover stews, make small pot pies. Individual pot pies and freeze them, and then you can pull them out. So that's a cheap way to go. Again, one pot cooking is mainly what I do because I don't want to use that much gas and cook that much in my van. And I do cook. And I am going to be doing 15 bean soup. And there's many beans. You can mix them. You can make them yourself. But why bother? I don't think it's cheaper. If I've looked at the bean prices lately, 15 bean soup, you're going to buy 15 different beans to make 15 bean soup. I don't think that's really cost effective. But if that's what you want to do, then do it. Because beans are excellent for you. They're very good for you. Let's talk about some other stuff. So today, we're again talking about frugal ways. So, that's not it. So here's some sleeves from an old shirt I cut up. Now I'm going to cut these up even further and try to use them to, instead of cotton balls, for my nails. Because I do my nails, I would say the last 3 months I haven't done them properly, but I'm getting back to it. I want to see if I can reuse them, wash them and reuse them every time instead of cotton balls. So that's one thing I did. And I'll be cutting these smaller into small pieces. The bigger pieces, here's another old shirt, it's cotton. I prefer cotton to everything. And I will cut this up into washcloth size. And they can clean. You know, I have to clean my dash, it's filthy. I have to clean my floor. So these are good cleaning rags, and then you soak them in a bag with soap, you wash it out, and you just keep reusing them. So that's very important. But another thing I haven't really mentioned is sewing. Now, I have this jacket. This jacket has got to be 20 years old. Okay? Now, I call it a sleeping jacket. Modesty jacket, whatever you want, but it was really soft, and after 20 years it's not soft anymore, and it's uncomfortable. It's lost all its softness. It just isn't. You know, I've worn it down, the elbow. So when I put it on, I usually wear it in the winter, so I'll have a sweater or a shirt. You know, when it's winter, you double up on your clothes. And this jacket keeps me so warm, but it's worn out. So what I'm going to do is use this jacket as a pattern. I love the jacket. It's very loose. I could wear it into store if I wanted. I'm going to take all the seams and rip out all the seams. I'm going to make a pattern from this for another jacket. So this makes a great pattern, and since it's something I really love and I use for years, I can't find anything like it, and I just love it. So I'm going to tear it apart and use it as a pattern to make another jacket before the winter. And yeah, Marley. So we're going to talk again about food. When I was growing up, we used lard. We never used margarine. We used lard. Here, I better have it right. Lard to make pie crust and some breads. And my grandmother used to use lard for just about everything. We also, talking about lard, if we cooked anything, we would drain the oil out of it, like bacon grease, and this is a bacon grease container, and it's got a mesh in it. You can see I've used it. It's got a mesh in it that takes all the hard stuff out, and then you have pure oil. And I reuse my oil until it's all gone, so that I cook with oil. I save on my lard. I do cook with lard. I've just started. I used to do nothing but olive oil, but it's beyond my price range. So now it's lard. And this is really, right now, Walmart has this on sale for $1.50. I can't even come close to Crisco, which is what we always used in the olden days. I can't touch Crisco for the price. This has been the cheapest. It's regularly $2.32. Now it's $1.50. That's something I do. So those are just a few more tips on how you can maybe save money. And the other thing about sewing is you can do it by hand. I can make a whole jacket by hand. I don't have a sewing machine. I make a lot of my stuff by hand. It takes a long time, but what the heck? What else have you got to do in your van? Unless you're doing videos or watching TV. I can sew while I'm watching TV if I don't have a TV, but if I was at home, I could hand sew everything. You don't need a sewing machine. I learned on a pedal sewing machine. There has never been another sewing machine like that pedal sewing machine. It never had problems. It never got the thread all messed up. These newer versions, I've owned several. They just, the thread just keeps messing up on all of them. I mean, I just keep working with them and fixing them, but after a while, I just get tired of it. So, and it'll take me a long time because I have arthritis in my hands, and I can only stitch for so long before I start having cramps and pains. But I am going to hand make one, and you can do it. And if you know anything about French seams, it will all be sealed. The seams will never come apart. And I'll show you how to do that when I get ready to do it, which will be a little later on. But I only want to add a couple of things, and these are really not money-saving tips, or maybe they are. If you have, say, a rusty skillet, a cast iron skillet, or something that's rusty metal, just take a potato and cut it, and then put a little salt on the end, and take that and rub that against the rust, and that'll bring the rust off. Or if it's a knife or something like that, just stick it into the potato. And that's a quick way of getting rid of rust. The other thing is, if you have a headache, this is an age-old process, is you put your feet in warm water and just soak them, and it will help with your headache. Just a couple of tidbits I wanted to add. I'm going to start adding a few tidbits of natural things and how to help yourself. So I'll talk to you next time. Thank you for watching, liking, and sharing.